Now, to offer a deeper understanding of the current political climate, including the impeachment proceedings of Vice President Sara Duterte and the factors influencing the upcoming midterm elections, we are joined in the studio by political analyst and strategist Lito Banayo. His expertise will provide valuable insights into the potential implications of these developments in the broader political landscape. Welcome to Morning Matters.
Thank you for having me, Gretchen.
Well, you've been to several presidential campaigns, and now we are in the midterm elections, local campaigns. You've also been part of. Taking a look at the current political climate, what could you say? Is this a difficult landscape to be in, or is this just the usual?
No, it's not going to be the usual. We are into a very polarized situation. Masyadong divisive itong impeachment. No? That Senate President Escudero is determined to push the convening of Senate trial to June 2 and most likely to go into the 20th Congress means that the impeachment of Vice President Sara will be a major issue in the campaign. As it is, for instance, you've already noticed na lost in the headlines, lost in the political conversation is the matter of the budget, which many quarters, and I agree with, is one of the worst budgets in Philippine history. So nawawala yan, no? And here comes the impeachment process. So it's going to dominate the political conversation and the impacting on the campaign for
that will be the election backdrop, the impeachment complaint, as well as the case filed in the Office of the Ombudsman for graft and falsification of documents yesterday against administration figures. But I want to get first the context of this recent Pulse Asia survey. It was taken January 18 to 25, the start of the year. What would be critical at this juncture, and how do we view the latest Pulse Asia survey? We have about 3 months to go before Election Day.
Well, to begin with, the administration candidates, or what we call the Alianza candidates, because it's a coalition of different political parties and different political personalities, is a function of their survey ratings. Pinili sila ng kandidato because, to begin with, winnable sila. They're either celebrities, balik senadores, or re-electionists. No? So, notice that their awareness level is in the 90s upwards. No? So that is a big plus. On the other side, in what can be considered the opposition, you have the Duterte candidates, only 2 of whom are faring well in the surveys, or are at least inside the winning circle as of now.
Of course, that's Bato de la Rosa and Bongo.
And Bongo, no? Because these are already re-electionist senators, to begin with. And then you have Bam Aquino and Kiko Pangilinan, whose awareness are quite high, but the conversion needs a lot of improvement. No? So that's how the landscape is. It is to the advantage of the administration candidates, no? Especially since, if you look at the local elections and the congressional elections, many are uncontested. So yung mga incumbent congressmen and incumbent mayors and governors are virtually running unopposed. No? So if they're virtually running unopposed, if the administration is running a good campaign, and I suppose they will try at best to run a good campaign, they can top these uncontested candidates. Kasi walang kalaban, so pwedeng mag-focus doon sa senatorial candidates nila.
Kasi kumbaga, all their energies will be here in the senatorial campaign.
Yeah, but it will be costly.
Now, taking a look at the 2 biggest groups here, the Alianza para sa Bagong Pilipinas, which is the administration slate, and also putting that side by side with PDP Laban. Pag tinignan mo yung Pulse Asia survey, parang tumaas itong PDP Laban candidates, ano? Yung mga kaalyado ni Duterte, si Bongo actually overtook Senator Tito Soto. Although bumaba yung numbers niya, pero nag-number 2 na siya. Si Bato de la Rosa climbed from number 13 to number 10. And ang controversial na si Senator Imee Marcos, who is with the administration slate but has declared loyalty and love for the vice president. Her numbers also climbed from number 12 to number 7. What do you think is happening here? Are they starting to garner more support?
Surveys are snapshots, as you very well know. No? So this snapshot was taken January 18 to 24, I think, prior to the filing of the impeachment complaint. But very much in the news from mid-December until mid-January was the budget. No? The budget brouhaha where, a lot of magic was done. And so many were contesting that. Notice that, therefore, it gave a boost to Imee Marcos because she was quite vocal on the budget issue. And it also carried a boost, even if they were not vocal on this issue, nagkaroon ng anti-administration sentiment. And if I look deeper at the surveys, because I've seen some other surveys, also by the same company, on the issues, no? Dati, you're only talking of prices, jobs, unemployment, poverty, etc. as the major issues. Ngayon, tumaas ang corruption. Tumaas ang corruption ngayon. So why? No? Because of the budget issue. No? Naging focus na naman yung corruption. Now, if the opponents of the present administration can make that a major issue, that corruption causes poverty, causes high prices, causes all of this, then the possibility of having more candidates from their camp getting a slot in the 12-man senatorial ticket is possible.
Well, we do know that is also the issue with this impeachment complaint, right? With the 125 million confidential funds used by the Office of the Vice President. Yun din ang pinatutuunan nun, ano? Pero hindi ba klaro yon kung ano yung issue dito sa impeachment?
Ang problema, ano ang malapit sa sikmura ng taong bayan? Everything, from an individual voter's viewpoint, does the impeachment, as even the President himself said, will the impeachment improve the life of a single Filipino? And he himself said it will not. No? So if the messaging is correct, no, and they're able to communicate it very well, they can focus on the corruption of congressmen, of the rest of that, as being worse than the confidential funds issue.
Kumbaga, pag tinignan mo yung budget, bilyones yan.
Bilyones yan. Ito, ilang daang milyon.
125 million. We talked about her already, Senator Imee Marcos. She is the biggest gainer in this Post Asia survey, going up 5.8 percentage points. What has she been doing right? Because in the latest SWS survey, medyo nasa labas siya. Pero dito sa Pulse Asia, nasa gitna siya. How do we put those two surveys side by side?
Yeah. Ang problema kasi ni Senator Imee Marcos is she was earlier perceived as namamangka sa dalawang ilog. I think Ronald was saying that a lot all over media, no? Which is certainly true, but she has to be able to explain to the Marcos loyalists, no, the Marcos brand loyalists, na she is doing it not because she's attacking the president. She has not actually attacked her brother, but because she still believes in this concept of if we remain united, we can progress. Pero kung ang problema nga is ito naman mga taga Davao, itong mga Duterte loyalists, are blaming her for being the author of the unity team. Para kung hindi ka nakialam, sana kandidato sana si Sara na presidente, no? But pinagsama mo yung dalawa. So she has to cure both resentments, no? And she cannot do that naman all the time. So focusing on the budget and being very vocal about the infirmities in the budget, I think helped improve her numbers.
Do you think she also is starting to lean towards the Duterte camp? Because she said no to impeachment. She's clearly made her stance. She is against this. No to destabilization. Tingin nyo, sinusubukan niyang makakuha dito mula sa Duterte Basin? Is that working? Or do you think so? She's still very much in the middle?
No, I think she's trying to balance both. No, what's going for her insofar as the votes in Balance Luzon, especially central to northern Luzon, where most of the Ilocanos are, is the fact that she is the only Ilocano in the top 15. If you go down further, the only other Ilocano is Ariel Kerubin, who's I think doing number 20 or 21, no? So malaking factor 'yon because Ilocanos tend to be clannish also, no? So kung basta meron siyang shield dun sa Ilocano vote, no? But she has to bolster that strength. And then she has to cure her problems in Mindanao and probably Central Visayas.
So you expect her to attend the kickoff rally in Ilocos Norte today because hindi naman siya nagsabi raw na hindi siya pupunta. So they expect her to come, but syempre naabangan mga tao yan kung darating siya.
I was informed she is going to attend, no? Because kung basano siyang host dun diba? And her son is the governor of Ilocos Norte, although he's not running in this election.
Do you think yung ad spend niya also gave a boost to her numbers?
Maybe.
PCIJ touts that at 1 billion pesos, although that is at the rate card of the TV stations. Probably mas konti pa yan. Pero
mas maliit. And
how
that includes,
valuable
I think she has a program
ads?
here.
Yes,
before, no?
here.
I mean,
Disclaimer.
So I think they since that's black time yata yun, no?
Tama po.
That was also charged to her, no? So, but people don't really mind that issue about campaign spending, no? It used to be an issue, but it's no longer an issue these days, no? But I think, I would suggest if I were handling her, to sharpen the message because the message of the past advertisements that I have seen are not too sharp on the messaging.
Okay, let's go to somebody else who has spent a lot in this campaign. Also touted at 1 billion. Of course, that is the published rate card. We have Camille Villar, who sits at number 13 to 14. In this latest survey. I compared the two periods, yung last year na December sa ngayon, nandun siya sa range na yun, nasa labas, no? Just a little bit behind. So how would you strengthen her campaign? I mean, taking a look at how it is now.
Well, she'll have to do a lot of ground campaigning, no? I mean, in the sense that, that she has to fortify her campaign base, no? The Villar brand has been there for the last 20 years, perhaps, no? Became a national brand when Manny Villar ran for president. Unfortunately, he lost, no? So she'd have to fortify her, take advantage of the fact that so many congressional and mayoralty gubernatorial candidates are without any opponent. But she has a lot of money. I mean,
to get more ground support.
To get more ground support.
But her branding here is quite different. She is being rebranded as somebody new, a new face, bata, going into digitalization.
Well, because she has had only one term in Congress. I mean, there's not much that you can declare by way of accomplishments in the legislation and all that, no? So you have to come up with some kind of catchphrase, which is kandidato ng bata, no? So digitalization and all of those things.
How important are TV ads now? I mean, you have social media, you have huge billboards in our major highways, TV exposure. I mean, taking a look at the campaign mix, how has it changed over the years? You've been through several presidential campaigns, as I mentioned.
I think the first time social media played a minor role was in 2010, no? But that was very minor. Became more effective in 2016, and it was used very well by the Duterte campaign in 2016. But in 2022, it became pervasive. No? Kasi halos lahat meron ng cellphone. And so it became the source of news, no? Aside from the TV programs, broadcast. No? Print has become, quite, I mean, not too popular anymore. No? So I would put the money in a mix of TV and broadcast and social media, but targeted. For instance, radio is probably not too important in Metro Manila, but in certain provinces, still quite important. So I would put money in the provincial broadcasts where radio is prevalent. No? Pag naninimot ka ng boto, importante yun. You can't say, baliwala yan, Romblon, Marinduque, yung mga ganun maliliit na isla. But if you're in the 12, 13, or from the 9 down, no, that is important. You'd have to scrimp for every vote, no? And so you'd have to tailor your advertising spending accordingly, no? So it all depends, no?
Depende sa kung saan ka mahina.
Yeah, I'll give you an example, but this is pre-social media. In 1995, after my candidates Mitra and Fernan lost the presidential elections, I went back to the private sector in Mindanao, where the family business is. No? Now, middle of the campaign, I think 50 days na lang left for the campaign. Then, former Chief Justice Fernan, who ran as Vice President in 1992, was doing 18 to 21. No, mababa masyado. And he asked me to help out. No? So I came back to Manila. I helped out. Midway na, through a 90-day campaign, we were already on day 42 or 43. So looking at the surveys, I saw that 18 to 21 was because he couldn't speak Tagalog. No? And so he couldn't relate to Luzon. So I said, well, our major area would have to be Mindanao and the Visayas. So I targeted number 1 or number 2 in the Visayas, kasi he's from Cebu, and at least top 5 in Mindanao. And then we'll try to make you 11 or 12 in NCR. And you will come up number 10 or number 11. So what we did was we hired a private plane to bring us to almost all the cities of Mindanao within a 12-day period. Yun yung area of strength. And I said only one message. Don't talk about justice because people don't understand justice, which is what he was talking about before. I say only one message, ha? Pagbaba sa isa aeroplano, diretso sa press conference, then talk to the mayor or the governor, congressman. But the message was very, very simple and very short. I am from Cebu, no? And you say it in the vernacular. And I'm the son-in-law of Mindanao because his wife is from Cagayan de Oro. That is all. I don't want you to say anything else.
Kailangan lang maramdaman na parte ka ng...
Oo, tagarong ka. So you know what happened? We were number 4 in Mindanao. Tinalo pa namin si Nene Pimentel, who is from Cagayan de Oro. No? We were number 2 in Cebu after Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, to whom I made a deal with also. Sabi ko, dadalhin ka namin sa Cebu, pero dalhin mo kami sa Pampanga, no? Because we were very weak in Pampanga, which happened. And then in NCR, I talked to ERAP, I talked to Mayor Lim at that time, Mayor Binay, Mayor Belmonte. Pasok naman yun, singit na yun, siguraduhin naman yung
kailangan ng tulong.
Konting tulong. He came out number 10 eventually. So it all depends. Strategies and tactics in a campaign are fluid. You have to react on a day-to-day basis. Hindi pwedeng set ka, yan na lang. No? You'd have to calibrate and
we are in a very, very tight senatorial race. Actually, strong names here. We got Manny Pacquiao dropping from number 6 to number 12 in the recent Pulse Asia survey. What do you think is going wrong here?
I think he has I haven't seen ads yet. I haven't seen any TV or SOCMED ads on the part of Pacquiao. No? The other thing that you will notice there that's quite similar to Manny Pacquiao is that of Lito Lapid.
Bumaba rin.
Bumaba
actually
ng
from
todo-todo.
number 11 to number 14.
Yeah.
But in the recent SWS survey, nasa gitna naman siya.
Nasa gitna. No? So, well, these surveys can differ a bit. No? But I think it's also a question of doing the same thing all over again. No? In, when was the last? 2019, when he ran for election, he was able to win on the strength of ang Provinciano, yung kay Coco Martin. And
Yung
Coco
guesting.
Martin really went around the country for him. This time, he's using Batang Quiapo. So parang baka, no, from the point of view of the majority of voters, especially the DNE, bumenta na yan eh. Ito ka na naman, no? Parang gano'n, no? And let's face it, no? He's been part of the Comité de Silencio in the Senate, no? So, people also,
One of those
miski na masa.
Hindi mo naririnig,
Oo,
in
miski na
short.
masa, wag mong akalain na kayang-kaya mong, they also think
Well,
about their choices.
two other figures we've seen in teleseries are Benhur Abalos, who stands at number 18, and Francis Tolentino, who is at number 20. I mean, we've seen so much of their ads in roads. We've seen them also do TV shows. What isn't working? And do you think, what should be done in the next 3 months for these two candidates?
Well, in the case of Francis Tolentino, he's been a very conscientious senator, always in the Senate, no, never absent. But I think
The
he's
West
speaking...
Philippine Sea also, he's been at the forefront of that, the two new laws on the West Philippine Sea.
Yeah, but these are above the pay grade, so to speak, of the masa. The masa, even if you look at the surveys, the West Philippine Sea is not a major issue among the masa. It is among the ABC. No? But that's 10% of the electorate.
Even if it is a unifying issue,
Yeah, despite that, no?
it ranks low in terms of
Because
being an election
it's
issue.
been defeated by the what we call the politics of the stomach. Prices, no, unemployment, no, poverty, and all that. No, that is still the major concern of the public, and health issues come out next. No, remember yung PhilHealth, no. At least yun nga, kung hindi ka man lang umibik doon sa PhilHealth, people will say, wala ka namang wala ka namang, you're not thinking of our betterment, no.
Benhur Abalos.
I can't divine why not, no, because he's been quite active when he was DILG, no, but maybe it's I wouldn't know how to because I haven't really seen his ads. I mean, some of his ads I've seen, but maybe that wrong messaging also.
Kiko Pangilinan and Bam Aquino are at number 15 and number 16 in the recent two Pulse Asia surveys. Do they have a chance of getting in?
They have a chance
to the top 12.
They have a chance, but the problem precisely is if the administration really pushes for its candidates with the ground forces, the congressional, mayoralty, and gubernatorial candidates, they will have a bit of a difficulty breaking ground, no? So that is the problem. And unfortunately, the yellow-pink crowd is viewed as leaderless because the champion last time, which was Leni Robredo, has isolated herself in Naga.
Isn't that Risa Hontiveros already in the Senate? Isn't she carrying the mantle?
Yeah, but the last champion was Leni Robredo. Yung pa rin yung...
It's very clear, very clear.
And Risa, of course, she's been doing a very good job in the Senate, but unfortunately, it's not on the level of Leni Robredo.
Well, we do know that Kiko, Bam, and Shell will be in Dasmariñas, Cavite, joined by Senator Risa Hontiveros and, of course, former Vice President Leni Robredo. They will be doing their kickoff there. Why Cavite?
I don't know why. I don't know why they chose Cavite. Dasmariñas, the congressman there before, the kingpin, died recently. I don't know if they're close to him. I am not sure about that.
We do know that is a vote-rich
yes, it is. Cavite
city.
is, I think, number one now or no, among the provinces.
Okay. What struck me a while ago was you mentioned itong mga kinuha sa administration slate are already strong in themselves.
Yes.
They are winnable. Do you think that if they manage to win and get into the top 12 as senators, do you think they will return the favor to the administration? Because we do know that the vice president will need 8 senators on her side to block the conviction in the trial over at the Senate that will probably happen right after the election. Sabi nga ni Senate President Chis Escudero, after SONA na daw. I mean, anong tingin ninyo? What if the administration manages to pull them through this election? Will that mean heavy for the upcoming impeachment trial?
Again, it will depend on the public opinion during the trial, no? Because this is a political trial; it's not necessarily a legalistic trial, no? So it will depend on how you shape public opinion. And if I were in the Duterte camp, for instance, I would start shaping public opinion even before after SONA or July, no, of this year, no. Unfortunately, I don't know how they're going to do that, no. But take note of the fact that many of the candidates in the Alianza ticket are basically independent senators. Tito Soto, Ping Lacson, Pia Cayetano. Hindi mo marerendahan ng ang pag-iisip niyan no. Hindi yan, probably Revilla, Lapid, etc. Kaya mong pakiusapan, no, na ano.
Well, if you mentioned a while ago, itong mga gut issues are very evident in the discussion of the budget. What would your advice be in terms of communicating this impeachment, or what does the administration have up on their sleeves on how this can be communicated to the electorate?
Well, I would keep hammering on the issues that affect the lives of every Filipino. And I would say that this is just a distraction. And I would compare...
So, wag pa rin the impeachment?
No, but I would compare the charges that they're leveling against Sara Duterte versus the high, mind-boggling corruption in other parts of the government, no? Plus the fact that, realistically, if they had the goods on Sara, they could have filed a plunder charge in the ombudsman rather than have prolonged the impeachment hearings that have not amounted to legislation as yet.
Right,
Diba, in aid of legislation, supposedly.
Correct. Chis Escudero said that the impeachment will be tackled after the SONA. Is that already final? I mean, what have you been hearing? Why after the SONA? Why not during this, when session resumes in June 2?
Well, in Philippine politics, nothing is final, as Lito knows about it. No? So, but maraming strange na sinabi si Senate President Chis Escudero na marami ng mga legal pundits ang nagsasalita ngayon. No? Kakabasa ko lang kay Father Aquino, no? Nasabi niya, it's so wrong, yung sinabi ni Senate President Chis Escudero. Nabasa ko rin yung statement ni Justice Ascuna, former Supreme Court Justice Ascuna, etc. So, malinaw naman kasi yung mandate ng Constitution sa Senate, forthwith. At SONA, more than 4 months from now, is not forthwith. At yung ilang mga sinabi niya na kinakailangan kung ang presidente ay magpapatawag ng special session, it must be related to legislation. 3-4 na beses kung binasa yung Constitution, wala nakasulat na gano'n No? Walang ganong klaseng qualification.
Although Senate President Chis Escudero said na hindi naman mabilisan ito. Meron ka pang magpaggawa ng rules, tapos kumbaga babasahin mo pa yung articles of impeachment, and then meron ka pang pre-trial phase kumbaga before tapos hihingi ka pa ng affidavit from the Vice President.
Yes.
Sasagot pa siya, bibigyan mo siya ng 10 days.
Yes.
And then you will be gathering evidence.
Yes,
which will happen once the chamber is ready to receive.
Yes, but SONA is not that fast, no. Yung impeachment na ERAP, it took 24 days since the transmittal sa Senate until yung start ng trial. Kay Corona, it took 34 days since nung transmittal at yung start ng trial. In between, doon inaayos yung mga rules. No? In between. So, nung nagsimula na yung trial, may mga rules na. So, ibig sabihin, pwede nilang gawin yan ngayon. Unless talagang seryosohin nila yung break nila at most of them will be out of the country, na mukhang gano'n na mangyayari. Kaya hindi nila magagawa yon. No? Pero masyadong matagal yung SONA.
But in the case of ERAP kasi, ni-refer agad-agad, ni-refer yung impeachment complaint to the Committee on Justice. And the Committee on Justice held hearings, quite acrimonious hearings, until Villar short-circuited, Speaker Villar short-circuited the process by collecting 76 or 77 signatures, which was one-third of the Congress membership, and delivered it to the Senate. No? And then 1 month thereafter, or more or less 1 month, 3 weeks yata thereafter, the Senate convened. No? In this case naman, inupuan, nag-freeze the ball itong Secretary General ng House from December 2 all the way to February, ano ba yun? February, kailan ba siya pinadala? 7 or 8, no? So
Last
napakatagal
week lang,
din. Last week, oh. So napakatagal din niya inupuan no? I mean, let's face it, no? The Akbayan-led impeachment complaint hardly differs from what the so-called fourth impeachment complaint is. The process should have been followed, no? So, meron ding karapatan naman ang Senado to say, finreeze the ball ninyo, pagkatapos bibigay nyo sa amin 1 hour before our session adjourned, no? So, I mean,
But
pero
isn't,
eventually it
uh,
might even reach the
Go
Supreme
ahead,
Court.
Ronald.
Pero Lito, immaterial yun eh. Ang whether ano yung naging condition doon ay na-transmit na sa kanila eh. So hindi nila pwedeng gamitin yon na dahilan para hindi kumilos kaagad forthwith, no?
Yeah, but eventually
yun yung
even the definition of forthwith might reach the Supreme Court for interpretation. I mean, Merriam-Webster is not the be all. I mean what you call that, the sole definition of forthwith.
But is it the goal here to establish the most credible form of trial? Because there are questions over whether this can be passed on from the 19th to the 20th Congress. Pag tinalakay siya ngayon, pwede bang ituloy ng susunod na Kongreso?
Well, mismo si Senate President Chis Escudero, sinasabi niya pwede. Dahil nga ay quasi-judicial body na yan. Hindi na yan simply legislative body. As a quasi-legislative body, pag nasampay yung kaso, kahit magpalit yung hukom, yung judge, o halimbawa, 1 or 2 magpalit, ay magpapatuloy yung kaso. So mukhang wala masyadong debate ron for now, dun sa usapin na yun. Mismo si Senate President Chis Escudero ay sinasabi na pwede yun.
Ang pinakahuling tanong siguro, dahil naubusan na tayo ng oras, meron ka ba naririnig na magsasampa ng kaso regarding the constitutionality of how this was dealt with by the Senate? May naririnig ka ba on that
Well,
end?
so far, wala akong naririnig. No? Dahil ang...
To clarify what forthwith
Yeah.
means.
Oh, yeah. For now, wala akong narinig. Alias si Lito may narinig. Wala akong narinig na gano'n. Mas ang labanan dito ay pwede bang magpatawag ng special session yung presidente? Ang sabi ni Senator Chis ay in relation lamang sa mga legislative bills. No? Pero pag binasa mo yung Constitution, wala naman ganong klaseng qualification. Kaya yan yung magiging, tingin ko, immediate in the next few weeks. Yan ang magiging debate. Kung pwede ba talaga magpatawag ng special session ang presidente.
Alright, maraming salamat for weighing in on with us on the first day of the national campaign. We have political analyst Ronald Llamas who arrived on the dot. Of course, on the spot, we were able to ask him. Of course, Lito Banayo, who was with us all morning. Maraming salamat.